Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader the Infinite Museion review. This is the review that happens on version 1.6, summer, August of 2026. And again, I finished the game on unfair difficulty. I don't count anymore. I had multiple runs in the last 3 years. And now it's time for the final verdict. Let's not waste time and let's go. So before I begin with this review, you already have a bunch of my reviews for every DLC that came out for Rogue Trader as well as the main game, yeah. And this won't be a cohesive review like I usually do them, okay? I just want to talk about the game and what I currently think about it and the actual state of Rogue Trader after the Infinite Museion. As far as the story goes, there is no better writing, better acting, better story, and there doesn't exist a better Warhammer 40k game than Rogue Trader in terms of everything. Details, animation, world, and how it's presented. Like, there is no similar game. This is by far the best 40k video game ever created. And so does it apply for the story as well. With the best story, with the best writing, with the best conversations, choices and consequences, they just nail it. So it's pure 10 out of 10, especially now with the third DLC that presents Trazyn from the Necrons, which is freaking hilarious, by the way. Trazyn is what the game actually needed, and Trazyn delivered. They nailed it with Trazyn. His part, the third DLC, is an absolute masterpiece, both in presentation and in voice acting, as well as in writing, and with a bunch of funny scenes, and of course with the content as well. So the DLC 3 now made this game drastically bigger. As I said, pure 10 out of 10 for the story. Now, in what state is the game? What about game bugs and optimization? It was never better. Really, it was never better. Fast loading screens. It works well, it's stable, frames are stable. I didn't have a single crash in my entire run. Very, very low amount of bugs. Like, I don't know if I even encountered 3 minor bugs in the entire run, and there used to be thousands. So the game is now polished to perfection. I got nothing to add, like the game is in its perfect state. The game received, like, I don't know, 1000 patches, 3 full DLCs since its full release. This is now a perfect game. It works phenomenal as well. Pure 10 out of 10. Game time. When I said, like, when I played vanilla and I strictly said how Rogue Trader is smaller, then they added the Kibela DLC, then Solomon DLC, Lex Imperialis, and now they added the Trazyn DLC, or should I call it Eogunn DLC, the Infinite Museion. They added a new companion as well now, with his own quest and whatnot, and that game time got drastically bigger. Let's say that every DLC added like 6 hours of playtime, and that's if you skip conversations. If you go into every conversation, if it's your first run, this is a freaking long game right now. Content is added in Act 2, in Act 3, in Act 4, in Act 5. Okay, now Act 5 actually is kinda huge because of the DLC 3, because although, let's be real, all of the DLC storylines, they drag from Act 1 all the way to Act 5, but they prolong the game time. And on a big game that I thought is not big enough, but it still was, because it's like 60 to 80 hours long, now it's easily 100 and plus hours long. This is a huge CRPG, not to mention that it's now often on sale. This, like, you can't invest your money better than this. It also offers huge replay value. I can't give it less than 10 out of 10, man. It's just, the game is humongous. Not as big as Wrath of the Righteous, of course, because nothing is, but still the game is humongous. And now comes the painful part, the most painful part for me, and that would be the game difficulty. As I said, I finished this game like multiple times on unfair difficulty. I don't know how many times. I only had like 15 to 20 rolls through prologue and act 1, and then at least 10 10 plus from Act 1 to the very end, Act 5, and I really seen every single outcome, every single fight, every single secret, everything that exists, from classic ground combat to ship battle to everything, okay? And this is the game's biggest problem, okay? Because it's way too easy. Like, normal in Rogue Trader is a story mod in Wrath of the Righteous. Unfair in Rogue Trader is like maybe daring on Wrath of the Righteous, so there is no challenge. I was hoping for them to buff the enemies, make the game harder from pre-release and full release, and balance it out a bit and whatnot. Offer challenge, okay? It just never happened. Again, I played, and again, this DLC 3, there's like 3 normal fights, and I'll be explicit when I say which they are. Aurora, the turrets, and, should I say 4? That alien with Solomon's Quest when it ends, and Trazyn. Those are the 4 hardest fights in a game. I call them normal fights. Everything else is story mod. This is a big problem in a game. It doesn't offer challenge. It needs to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Now, I don't know how to put it. It seems like as they add more and more content, your companions and your Rogue Trader, we got bigger and better amount of talents, of items, of everything, while enemies still remain the same, and you just feel freaking overpowered, no matter who you play with. Before, it was like Cassia is OP, don't play Cassia and the game is gonna be normal. No, it wasn't like that. Cassia was OP, but you can make any character OP. Now everyone is OP. It doesn't matter who you play. You want Heinrichs to be OP? Yes, he can be OP. You want, I don't know, Pascal to be OP now with this new talents for the arc rifle? Yeah, he's gonna carry alone every fight. In Act 1, in Act 2, in Act 3, doesn't matter, he's gonna carry the fights alone. If his arc rifle doesn't kill, it's gonna be the Eagle. Eagle is the addition from the DLCs, it's from the Overseer, okay? The new subclass, the new archetype. Every single class, no matter who you pick, they can carry. So it's not like it's only Cassia. Cassia even got balanced, nerfed. She's still strong, but not as strong as she used to be. Argenta is now the most OP one, if we gotta talk for real. Or should I say it's the soldier? Literally, like, I'm not kidding when I say that I won 99% of fights, and there's hundreds of fights in a game. I won 99% in round 1. Not even everyone played in round 1. If 6 enter the fight, I usually win with Cassia Argenta combo or with my Rogue Trader and Pascal combo. It really doesn't matter. And I played fair, and I played with different builds on everyone. If I took Grand Strategist on all characters that can take Grand Strategist, no one could ever play. That's the reality. But I didn't only have Grand Strategist on Cassia. The game has huge potential to be hard, but for some reason it is not. The game has huge potential to be challenging, but it's not. As more and more of these DLCs pile up, enemies lose in power, while you, as a Rogue Trader, and your companions rise in power. And it creates that dull moment where you don't care while you play. You don't care about covers, you don't care about positioning, you don't care about anything at all, because the entire game is in shambles right now, and you can easily stomp everything on unfair like it's story mod. Now that's a shame, because again, this is the best Warhammer 40k game ever created in terms of atmosphere, writing, longevity, replay value. Like, it's absolute best there is. You cannot play better, because better doesn't exist. Maybe Dark Heresy will be better, the upcoming Dark Heresy, but right now, at this moment, there is no better game than Rogue Trader for the 40k universe. And I don't care what anyone else says, I played every single 40k game. This one represents the 40k universe absolutely the best. But the challenge is not there. 5 out of 10. I can't give it more until I see this game fixed. I really can't give it more. The game should be like 3 to 5 times harder, so I can call it normal on unfair. 10 times harder, so I can really call it unfair. Nothing is unfair here. It's unfair towards the enemies, because you delete them. God forbid you cast ulti on Kibela, you delete 3 screens. I don't even talk about the others. Maps and graphics. The map got bigger, map got huge because of those 3 DLCs, and we got huge map variety and great maps to play, full with secrets, full with great gear, full with everything basically that you need for your dopamine factor to rise when you play a CRPG. The main Koronus Expanse map, world map, call it universe map, is an absolute masterpiece, and the sectors, segments, and everything else is just brilliant. Like, the only thing that's lacking right now are those animations and graphics that I've seen in Dark Heresy. Now, because I've seen what they can do in Dark Heresy, I can go like 10 out of 10 here. It's gotta be 9 out of 10, because I've seen the Dark Heresy does it better, especially with graphics. That's time. You cannot fight time. This is still a timeless game, no matter how you put it, but 9 out of 10. Gameplay. So we got choices and consequences, bunch of conversations, ship battle, and ground battle. Ship battle also got nerfed. It's like, it's just there, so you have some extra fun, but it's not challenging. Same applies for combat, but what you do in the Rogue Trader is exactly the same what you did in previous versions as well, but now there is that part with a DLC that happens in Act 5, where you go to find Trazyn. And I've seen that plenty of people complains how it's a puzzle, the DLC of puzzles. First of all, that's a lie. All of those that complain how the DLC is one big puzzle, there is only one puzzle, and it's extremely simple, stupid. I believe a monkey can solve it, but aside from that puzzle, there's only one puzzle. There is a mini game inside of the main game, or should I say inside of the DLC. And that mini game is, well, it's literally, if you played outer space, and you know what I talk about then, it's a mini outer space. It lasts for 10 minutes, where you gotta go back in time, resolve clues, then go back again and again and again and again, until you find the correct order of how you're supposed to do stuff. People call it puzzle, which is hilarious. That's a genre. It's called an adventure. So we got adventure inside of a CRPG, which is done phenomenal, okay? Like, it offers so freaking much to the base game. It's refreshing to see something like that, and this DLC 3 doesn't only offer one puzzle and traveling back in time with adventure mod. It also offers plenty of different fights. It offers comedy, it offers mystery, and on top of it all, it offers the best freaking boss fight in the entire game. Not to mention the other fights till you get to that boss, there's plenty of them as well. The DLC number 3 is phenomenal, and it adds really much needed things to this entire game as a whole. The gameplay though, it gets slightly outdated as years goes by. I can't pretend how it's perfect. Some animations should have been better. There are, for example, perfect animations when you shoot with a bolter, and shitty animation when you shoot with a sniper. You can feel those shots with a bolter, but you don't feel those shots with a sniper. Plenty of stuff that you can compare like that, okay? Like, for example, you can feel the smack with a hammer, but you don't feel the hit with a sword. The animation should be different, I guess. But, again, time consumes us all. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for the gameplay. The next section would be leveling and itemization. Aside from the new companion and what they added with the new companion, his own skills and whatnot, also, literally I haven't seen that many changes during leveling phase. Most of it remained the same, with slight balancing around the talents and whatnot. Items, they added plenty of new items with this third DLC, which is great. You got even bigger pool of items to pick from. Okay, there's like, when I say a lot of items, you can just look at this and everything is clear. Like, there are so many items in the game that you cannot even believe it. And I sold over 50%. This is what remained. Crazy amount of items in a game. But there is a problem when you have so many, and when there is no challenge, you don't have a need to use them, and that applies for consumables as well. You don't have a need to use them, unfortunately. On a leveling, there is reputation for the trading, there is classic leveling with a skill tree, or should I say skill circle, and it's fun, okay, especially when you have to level up 13 companions. Yeah, everyone is different and everyone offers a lot of different options, from the base archetype to the advanced one and whatnot, but again, it would make much more sense if there was a challenge. Anyways, I love the design of leveling, and I really love all the items in a game and how they're created and what they give and whatnot, but I can't go with 10 out of 10 because the gameplay doesn't follow the leveling. This is 9 out of 10 until this game is finally balanced and patched. I really hope they're gonna wake up for the 4th DLC. I really hope so. Now, with this 3rd DLC, for the segment of NPCs and enemies, again, plenty of new enemies are in the game. I don't want to spoil way too much. On top of all of those existing, plenty of new NPCs, and there is freaking Trazyn, which is a legend in 40k. So NPCs are extremely memorable, from Shorda to Winterscale to everyone that appears in this game. Doesn't matter if it's friend or foe, Xenos or not, everyone is memorable, extremely memorable, and that's a success. When you have memorable NPCs, including the companions, that's a success, and this game is a success in those terms. Enemies as well, memorable. Boss fights, memorable. The only thing lacking, challenge. But aside from that, I can't go anything with below 10 out of 10 because there is huge variety in this game. Absolutely huge. And for the last section, it's music and sound. The best freaking music ever in a CRPG. For sure, top 5 best music ever in the history of gaming, as far as the CRPGs go. Top 50 as far as all games go combined. Music is just... there is no better music than 40k. Sound effects are phenomenal. Voice acting is brilliant when it's there. Unfortunately, this game is not fully voice acted. Still, and it's DLC number 3 now. We know that Dark Heresy is gonna be fully voice acted, thank God. But because this game doesn't offer full voice acting, this is 9 out of 10. But aside from that, it's really a masterpiece as far as the music goes. And the final verdict would be 9 out of 10 for Rogue Trader, the Infinite Museion DLC 3. This is by far the best DLC that happened for the Rogue Trader. The most complete DLC that happened for the Rogue Trader. And absolutely the best one. It offered a lot, it prolonged the game a lot. The only thing that's lacking right now is the entire balancing of the game and making this game extremely challenging to be valid. I'm not saying how this game is supposed to be hard and nothing else. I'm just saying there should be options, okay? And current unfair should be normal, easily normal, while a real challenge should be addressed, and then this game can aim for better score than 9 out of 10. This is the only thing that's stopping it from a perfect score. Some things cannot be changed, like some outdated animations and whatnot, but that's life, and this is a CRPG. We're not playing a AAA title with flashy animations and movie cutscenes and whatnot. This is a video game where you play the game. But still, when I see Dark Heresy and what they're capable of doing in Dark Heresy, that just tells me that time goes on, and we cannot complain. This is how it is. But what can be addressed is the difficulty. That's right now in a very, very bad state, if not in the worst state since this game got out. I actually had the most fun in pre-release when the game was unbalanced and when some fights were challenging. Anyways, the game is brilliant. CRPGs are very rare, and I really don't have anything else to say about it. Play it, buy it, try it. This is the best 40k game that you can play right now in 2026. From early 90s till now, this is the best freaking one that you can pick, especially with the Infinite Museion DLC. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. See you on the next one.